beginning. Let's just talk about it all over again.
Right.
We want to get a good recording for the can so we can do more of these. So what are we doing? What's this show all about?
So we are launching this MVP launch. The idea is that we want to get people who are like building their products to be able to talk about their products on the show. And the idea is that we want to help people who wanted to start their own business, that they will have a guide or something to learn about.
And just something to get exposure early on. Like, hey, I have an idea. I put this thing together. Let's talk about it. Kind of go through and iterate over it. And MVP means like it doesn't have to be polished. Like, let's just get
It's
anything.
MVP.
It's MVP. Like, it can be anything.
Yeah.
So, as you can see, I have the iPhone up. Like, what problem are we trying to solve?
So the problem is that we want to solve single-use plastic by creating a community to help people live a zero-waste life. Because we start doing this zero-waste life like for like a month, and we find out that it's so difficult and it's so hard for someone that wanted to do it. Like bread is impossible to find it without plastic, and meat as well. Like meat is really hard to find wrapped in paper.
And just forget getting delivery. Like,
right.
Delivery is all plastic.
Delivery isn't an option.
And I just think it's a bad experience, right? Like getting all the plastic, like you have to throw out all the trash. It's just a bad experience for the user. So, what motivated you baking your own bread? Then I tried to bake my own bread. We started going to.
We're so bad at it.
Yeah, we're not good at it. I can do bouts of like steamed bread. Yeah, he's the king of that. I'm figuring out yeast still. The temperature has to be just right. You need all that stuff. We did try baking our own bread, but mostly just like bouts of like steamed bread.
Yeah.
That was the most we did with that.
But it is time consuming.
Yeah, it's really time consuming. But we did go to our local bakery and just brought our own bag. And they're like, yeah, they gave us some weird looks, but they were like cool with us bringing our own bag.
That's one place, yeah.
But we found like a lot of things were really hard. It was hard to find places that you could buy things without plastic. It was like all the things are harder. And so the next thing is like why were we motivated to build this? We wanted to solve our own problem. We wanted to have a go-to resource that showed all the places in your area to help you live a more sustainable lifestyle. Like that means places that have reusable materials, places that allow you to bring your own containers for takeout. That means places that you can do composting, farmers markets where you can get food straight from local producers.
Right.
All the things, and make it very convenient like plastic is today. So like what did we learn while building this?
We learn a lot. Like that's one thing that we find really surprising is that like people are actually storing their extra plastic bags in a drawer. So they're not like throwing them out, they just like stuck them somewhere so they don't have to see them again, which is like one of the surprising things that we found from our users. What's the other thing that we found that's like surprising for our users?
Well, I think a lot of things like weren't surprising. And I mean that most people just want what's most convenient.
Yes.
And I think there's a lot of confusion as to like what even recycling, like how to do that. Like a lot of people are super confused about recycling, super confused about plastic recycling. Like they see the chasing arrows on the bottom of bottles and stuff and kind of go, I hear some people saying it's good, some people, it says it's recyclable, so that's confusing. And we started off doing these like reusable bags at grocery stores. And we actually learned a ton while doing that. We learned a lot about sales, learned a lot about why we don't really want to do that. Maybe you can go into more detail about why that doesn't work.
So the original idea is that we want to start this like bag idea that you can like buy a bag at the grocery store and then you later return the bag for like store credit. So this way that the store can make a little bit of money and then without like having to use like a single-use plastic bags. And
so I would go to the store, I would go check out, they would put all my stuff in a reusable bag.
Right.
And the next time I can bring that bag back. It's like a borrowed bag.
Yeah, and you put your deposit down, and the next time it use it for deduct the next transactions.
Okay.
So that
cool.
was the idea.
Right. And so why didn't that work?
So as a startup, like every time we need to talk to anybody to ask for their permission to test out the ideas is a bad idea because like as a startup early on we want to iterate like all the time, like because we change our ideas all the time as you go, because your idea is not going to be the same when it just started.
Because you're focused on solving a problem,
right?
And you're kind of trying to come at it from all these different angles. And if you have to wait for someone else's permission every time you change your approach, you're dead.
You're gonna go bankrupt really quickly, and your burn rate is not gonna
go
be
bankrupt
able to
slowly,
you.
waiting on other people.
Yes. So that was the idea. And also the second reason why we didn't do the vaccine was that it wasn't our expertise. It wasn't something that we already been accumulating like a group of like customers.
So it wasn't good founder fit.
Yes,
like we're software engineers. We're not really great at printing bags, even though we can do it. We're not great at sales, going up to stores. We're not like there's a lot of things we're not good at it.
You can be good at all those things, but it just like it's not something that we're absolutely passionate about. So that was one of the reasons. Like if it's something that you don't absolutely love, you're not gonna make it. It's like a simple fact.
Okay, so we went from the bags, we moved over to this new concept, which is a community of earthlings living zero waste.
Right.
We're kind of scratching our own itch. We wanted to have a go-to resource for everything zero waste, sustainable, eco-friendly, local. So, like, what do we do? Like, how are we solving that problem?
So right now we have this map where we're displaying a group of like grocery stores or whatever store that we can find that are equal to the environment. For example, you can go to a bulk store and bring your own jars without creating any packagings, and like they will fill up your food for you, and then you only pay for the food. And actually we found that like a lot healthier, because a lot of bulk places, they usually have stuff from like local farms and natural ingredients. So the expiration date is short, so it won't be like something that you can store on your shelf for like, I don't know, like 5 years, like that type of things.
Right, like this place was pretty cool out near Chicago.
This is out in the suburb in Chicago.
Yeah, and you can go bring your own jar and grind your own peanut butter. A lot of grocery stores, most grocery stores that do allow you to grind your own peanut butter, they make you use their plastic jars, which is super frustrating for like an environmentally minded person, because I don't want your plastic trash. Like, I just don't want it.
It's actually super common that like some of the bulk places, like Whole Foods, for example, they would just like offer only the plastic solution. Like you would think that they will want to do a little bit better than that, but like
no. I think they believe it's kind of like a risk, right? Like it's a risk of, hey, people don't know how to weigh. You have to weigh it yourself, and then you don't really get like a barcode scanner, and there's kind of like a lot of things that you have to do to handle people filling their own jars.
Right.
Like, you don't know like if they cleaned it or not. Like there's kind of a lot of question marks. But yeah, this other place is a new store on the north side. That's great.
That's a really nice store.
Yeah.
And we talked to the owner. Her name is Jackie, and she was like telling us all about where she stores all her food, and it's all like in the like surrounding farms, and like really really good quality food.
So where do you see this going?
Yeah, what do you guys think that we should add next?
Yeah, we added some stores. We added a place you can do composting. I would like this to become the go-to resource for everything sustainable and eco. I'd love to get more data in here and have more rankings, like rank the regions by different characteristics, like how many stores they have, how easy is it to compost, how bike or walk or pedestrian friendly is it, right? Like there's all these things that kind of go with living a more environmentally friendly lifestyle that we're not really competing on. So I love when people are competing on these like really positive metrics.
For sure.
and then just also having a way to share information. Like we have this community, and then there's all these new ideas, like these awesome dryer detergent sheets that are kind of a new thing. They're like the size of a Kleenex, and they, instead of having to use the whole plastic bottle for detergent and filling it up or whatever, it's like this big. It lasts you all year. It's crazy. So maybe we can do. So our goals and obstacles for the week.
Yeah. Do you have?
Oh, a footprint formula.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, we've thought about that, like do like sort of like Big Green certified store, right? Like a carbon footprint calculator. Yeah, we've definitely thought about that because we've been learning about different communities online. Like there's Bigger Pockets, which is a great community for people that are investing in real estate. There's Nomad List, which is great for people that are remote workers.
Right.
Like there's different communities on Reddit that are focused on different things. And one of the things that Bigger Pockets does is they have these tools that allow you to analyze a property and see if it's going to be a good investment for you. Like you add in how many rooms, the location. You add in if you need to pay to like get a new kitchen or something like that, and then you enter all the numbers, and they say like, hey, you need to charge this much rent, and then you'll start making money in this many years or whatever, and then you can decide if it's a good investment or not. And I'd love to add other features like, hey, like I do this, this, and this, like what's my carbon footprint, and maybe, I can pay to offset that.
Right.
I know there's an EPA.gov tool that does something kind of similar, but maybe there's like a way to gamify it, right? Like you can gamify your carbon footprint. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know all the answers yet, and it's just hard to be perfect to live a zero waste life.
Super tough.
Yeah, it's really tough. But we just try our best to do this.
Yeah, just make it easy, make it fun. Yeah, I think I'd like to give vendors like footprint scores. I want it to be more of like a positive thing, like sort of like a Michelin star, right? Like there aren't restaurants, if you don't get a Michelin star, it's not like you get like a 1 star and you have like bad reviews online or something like that. It's more like, oh, these are the really good restaurants that you should check out.
Yeah.
Like if you're on the Michelin guide, you're exceptional. But if you're on Yelp, everyone's on Yelp. And even the crappy restaurants are on Yelp and they just have bad reviews. But like Michelin's like everything on there is going to be pretty good. I'd like to be more like that. But we're also not sure yet. Like
I don't know if I want to be the Michelin star because I feel like you kind of optimize. I don't know, like you opt out the other options of like being something else, right?
Right.
Whenever you choose like your directions.
Right. And there's also the question of like, I go on this thing and I check out my region, but like what's bringing me back to this website? Like why is this a useful tool long term? And I don't think we've answered that. Like we're still trying to figure out, like, we know photos are good. People love pictures. And it's way better than words to see a lot of photos.
Yeah.
People like maps.
One thing we learned from the users is that like they don't like to read at all.
No,
like,
users
they
hate
don't
reading.
read at all. If anything that they can take a look at it and they understand it right away, it's the best things.
So what are our like fails and wins for the week?
That's a good question. What are our fails?
Or we can do fails and wins, or we can do beefs and babes. Beefs and babes is like things you're mad about or things that like made you happy.
Do you want to go?
Fails or wins, or like what would be a fail? Like what would be a big win this week?
The big win is that we actually have 3 user interview, like we plan to do so. So
right.
we hit that goal for having 3 user interviews. Yeah, first time ever, and I guess like we don't have any sign up. That's all.
Yeah, all the signups we have are people that we've tried to get to do it
before.
Yeah, we walk them through the sign up process. So if anyone wants to sign up,
we had some sign-ups before. Maybe like 2 weeks ago, when we launched a new feature.
We launched on Indie Hackers.
On Reddit, yeah.
Yeah, and on Reddit too.
I think it's Reddit that was getting us to sign up.
Yeah, the Reddit Zero Waste community's been great.
Right. We probably should launch more.
Yeah, our biggest fail is just not getting as much growth or signups.
Right.
And any time that we're like arguing about features is wasted time too.
Yeah, it depends. You never know, like what you. Yeah, that's true. But the goal is that we just have to keep iterating and keep improving and hopefully, and keep talking to users, and our new features always rely on the users.
Oh, crap. Yeah, and I think we're gonna keep doing this show. We're gonna try and do it every few days, at least once a week, and talk to different companies, different people working on different projects, and just go through it and check it out. Like we know so many people that are doing like awesome things.
Yeah.
Like
Kids, by the
Bonko's
way.
next. Yeah, and just getting feedback. I think that's great.
Yeah, I think that's it, right? Any more questions?
He's out there. He's next. We have a few other people that we'd like to talk to. Post it on YouTube. Talk about their apps. Talk about what they're building. We have this cool blog that we worked on too. Kind of explaining what's up with plastic. Built a simple recycling guide.
Yeah, check out our site if you see any stores that you would like to add that you know that are doing green for the environment. Like, just add it to the map. There's like there's a feature where you go to our profile and then you can like lock your trip. In this way that you can go through like you can share like a zero waste trip.
I was talking to my sister told me about a nice composting place.
Oh, really?
We can go and try to add that. Let's see. It's called Waste Not. Let's see if we can look it up. We can demo what we built. Waste Not.
There's a lot of them.
Waste Not. Maybe that's not there. Let's see if I can look it up. Waste Not Compost. Maybe they have. Maybe I have to look up Waste Not Compost.
It's okay, you can just go through it for now.
It's not on. Oops.
No, that's like the first one to show up. Maybe not.
Maybe it's not listed on there.
It has one in Chicago though. Basically the idea is that like everything is like listed out like this, and then like you just like.
Well, I can add a
type
different
in
one.
whatever they
Let's see. I
have.
can add a different one. We added maybe that one's not listed. They do delivery. I can do the Urban Canopy. They're another composting place. And you just add in compost. And I know they also do some different farming stuff, but I don't know what else to add.
Like produce or something.
Yeah. And you can add comments about extra little tips that are helpful. And save it. Go back. Check it out. This is the place, Urban Canopy. They do compost. So yeah, just trying to add more stores.
Right.
Make it
help
easy.
the others.
Give other people tips. I think we're gonna start tracking scores of different regions, like who's got the most stores, who's got the most composting spots, who's got the most, maybe the most people that bike every week or whatever, right? If people in that area are biking a lot more or walking to like how walkable it is in that area they're at, like do some kind of ask our users like what they're doing. So
I don't know. We'll see.
Sky's the limit.
Right.
All right. Any other questions?
I think that's it. All right.
Cool. Signing off.
Yeah, sounds good. See you next time, Kate. Walling score?
Oh, Walling score from neighborhood data. Yeah.
Huh. So do they have an API share?
Yeah. Walking score.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
That'd be good. Yeah, there's all sorts of great data that we'd be pulling into this. We're not really pulling in from any, besides a couple Google APIs for addresses, we don't pull data from any
Yeah.
like public sources like that. I think
Right.
I know Zillow does the walkability. Yeah, there's a ton of APIs that we could be using to calculate all this stuff.
Yeah. We'll see.
For sure. It's a matter of just what's the most valuable right now, like what's going to get people interested.
Yeah.
We can integrate with like probably 30 APIs. Yelp, Zillow, City Data. Yeah, like Chicago does there's a lot of open APIs for city data. I know for like public transit, there's a ton of data. I know there's crime is a big one, but I don't think crime is really relevant to what we're doing. It'd be like public transit.
Yeah.
Parks, like know how many parks per capita or like park space.
I don't know if that matters.
Maybe long term it does, but maybe not short term.
I don't know. I feel like the most problematic is how the shopping like behavior and habits has caused all this like garbage generated.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like maybe I don't know. Like it's hard. You want to make it fun and gamify it, but you also want to solve the problem too,
Yeah.
right? So we're seeing there. So all right.
All right.
TTYL.
See you.
Talk to you later. We're done. Bye bye.